You probably heard of big, medium, small. Now, let's add micro to them. This is extremely useful for composition. If the elements or regions in your artwork are too chaotic, the viewer's focus will be scattered and lost. On the other hand, if you distribute them evenly, it can create a disjointed feeling due to a lack of connection between them. Therefore, we need the big, medium, small, micro principle to ensure harmony and rhythm. Before creating any complex details, try to compose with such simple blocks and use this method. As you can see what I've done here, it is an efficient and fast way of composing. On the other hand, you can use this principle to divide the regions of your artwork into big, medium, small, micro. You didn't expect how versatile this technique is, did you? To me, it's really a powerful way to approach composition. Proper occlusion is key to creating a sense of space. Even with foreground, midground, and background layers, a composition without proper occlusion can feel disorganized. In this image, we see the building occluding the large sphere occluding the mist occluding the small sphere, and the small sphere occluding the medium sphere. Through this layering, we understand their spatial relationships. However, if the occlusion is missing, as in this case where the relationship between the three spheres is unclear, we lose their spatial information. Furthermore, the character and foreground structures also play roles in occlusion. Take a look at this image. When all shading and occlusion are removed, and elements are misleadingly aligned, we completely lose our sense of space, especially in stylized art, which does not rely on contrast or atmosphere to convey depth. Proper occlusion becomes crucial during composition. Think of your composition as a basket. When all the content is concentrated in one corner, it creates an imbalanced feeling. Look at this image. Everything is focused on the bottom right corner, which feels too heavy for the right. Is it because of the high contrast and darkness in that area? Even after adjusting the contrast and brightness here, the imbalance persists. It's all about the contents. For better composition, balance must be adjusted so that weight is not overly concentrated in one corner or on one side. Objects in a composition with overly complex and irregular shapes make it hard for the eye to grasp the focus, resulting in forgettable artworks. Just like the silhouettes of objects, simple shapes and composition help guide the viewer's attention effectively. In this image, the mountain in the center has a unique shape that grabs our attention, but when we close our eyes, we cannot form a deep impression. In contrast, in this other image, the mountain is essentially a triangle. Yet its simplicity makes it memorable. Simplified shapes capture attention quickly, while rich details prevent the simplicity from feeling bland. I'm sure you've heard of the golden spiral or golden ratio. While this proportion may have some aesthetic appeal, I believe its practical application is quite limited unless you're drawing something like a spiral seashell. Especially when struggling with composition, deliberately forcing a spiral structure into your work adds so little value. Once we determine the focal point of the image, like the castle in this example, we need to consider how to arrange other elements to maximize the composition's effectiveness. The answer may be the leading lines and visual guidance. Leading lines, formed by object shapes or silhouettes like roads, guide the viewer to the point you want them to focus on. In this image, the shapes of the rivers and the mountains serve as leading lines. Visual guidance. In this image includes the trees pointing toward the castle, or birds flying toward it. Like road signs, they direct the viewer's gaze, a truly hidden technique and secret weapon that let your composition to the next level. When every corner of the composition is filled with intricate details, it not only fails to highlight the true subject, but also causes visual fatigue, because there is too much to see. We should allow sufficient blank areas in the image to give the eyes room to breathe. By using negative space, we emphasize the focal point. In this image, despite recognizing the central content as the main focus, the surrounding clutter distracts us. After I obscured some details with fog and blacked out unnecessary parts, the image felt much better. It doesn't look as tiring as before. In short, by eliminating needless details, we achieve the effect of less is more in composition. The tips above can assist those who struggle with composition, but remember, there are no absolute laws in composition. There is no have-to in composition. Any form of composition can lead to great work. It just requires long-term research and the development of aesthetic taste. So keep experimenting and exploring. Thanks for watching. More tutorials and valuable content are on the way. See you next time.